If you're an architect or interior designer, you've probably spent thousands of dollars on expensive photography, maybe even expensive web design, and it's just not working out. You're just not showing up. What if I told you that all of that investment is actually not what you need to show up on top of Google? In this video, I want to break down exactly what you need to take your website and make it show up on the first page of Google without expensive retainers and spending millions on it and running ads or whatever, but just keeping it simple and breaking down exactly what you need that you can get there. For context, I'm the co-founder of Marketing Architecture, an agency focused on architects and interior designers, and we help all of our clients show up on Google or run ads and get more of their dream clients and grow their practice sustainably. And in a couple of videos like this one here, I want to share for free with you guys that might not be able to afford our services or just want to do some things on your own, that you can take action on your own and you can grow your architecture or interior design business like that. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Before we go into the technical nitty-gritty of taking your website to the first page, I hear what you're saying. People don't look for an architect or interior designer on Google. This all works through referrals and word of mouth. For all of those of you, if you think this doesn't work, this is a good point to just jump off the video. Or maybe you realize that it's 2025 and that everyone, including your kids and your mom, are on the internet and they're looking for services, for inspiration, for everything out there. And even if they don't directly find you, right? Maybe they're getting inspired and they're building that information database to make a very expensive decision of their life. Sometimes this is the home of people, which is a very emotional, very expensive, once in a lifetime decision. For these decisions, they want to gather as much information as possible. Reviews, information, images, everything they can get to justify that they're making the right decision. Believe it or not, they do most of that online. They do it on Google when they search, they do it on social media looking for inspiration. And so with this video, I really want to break down what it takes and make it really simple for you to follow along to get to the top of Google. What is SEO? Probably many of you have heard of SEO, search engine optimization, search engine marketing, and there's a lot of marketers and marketing companies out there that try to sell you 101 strategies, different methods and tactics, and sometimes they're also very secretive about it. We cannot tell you exactly what we do, and we do something in the back end and charge you thousands of dollars to put you on position 1 in Google. But essentially, SEO is super simple. When we're thinking about SEO, we need to think, what does Google want? Google is a publicly traded company and they're making around 305 billion US dollars. This was 2 years ago. They're still making a lot of money. It's $1 trillion company. They are a publicly traded company and they have shareholders to make happy. So they have one goal, that's to make more money. How does Google make money? This is really interesting. We have YouTube. We have the Play Store, we have Google Cloud, which is services like Google Docs and Google Drive, maybe you're familiar. We have some kind of Google network, which is making more money than many companies. But the biggest revenue share of Google is by far Google search. People Googling things on Google. How do they really make money on Google search? Here we have something of 2024, and we see that the bulk of search and also YouTube is advertising revenue. If we look for interior designer Miami, we see all these sponsored listings, and when we click on them, like here we click on house, then house needs to pay Google a couple of dollars, maybe $1, maybe $2 for this click. Potentially there's a client that will then sign up with house. Maybe you did once way back, maybe you still are paying for house. And for house, obviously have it being top of Google search here for interior designer Miami is profitable. They're making money off this, or they wouldn't be advertising. Everyone that you see advertising for longer periods of time, they are making money. They are profitable off their advertising, unless it's some kind of startup like WeWork or another startup that is just wasting their money and not making money from it. Anyway, back to my topic, right? How does Google make money and how does Google make its shareholders happy? Google makes money by having all of the people on Google Googling things finding useful information. I found a picture that was very useful to explain this to you. And when you find this useful information, you stay on Google. I continue to use Google until sometime in the future, which is already happening now sometimes. Maybe I will search for something on Instagram or on YouTube, which belongs to Google too, ironically. Or maybe I will search for something within ChatGPT if I'm using ChatGPT, right? So this is when Google starts losing market share, and it's not doing, maybe it's doing a good job, but other companies are doing a better job. I'm inclined to switch, or I switch my habits and my behavior and I go away from Google. What happens when I go away from Google? Google has less users that they can advertise to. So I'm not seeing any ads anymore. I'm not clicking on any ads, and Google makes less revenue. To prove a point, Google's only interest is serving you as a user relevant results, okay? That you like and continue to use Google every day as much as possible, because then they can make more money. That's as simple as that. That's the main mission of a for-profit capitalistic company like Google. How do they deliver on that mission? They deliver on it by serving relevant content to you that you like. That's their main mission. So how do they do that? They do that by developing this super crazy geeky algorithm that we don't really know about. Sometimes there's some documents that leak. Some companies claim to know everything about it. Every day there's new things. Google is telling us things. This is important, that's not. And then the next day we find a leak by Google themselves, and we figure out that everything they said was just a lie and it wasn't that important. Really, the only way that we can figure out what really works and what doesn't is by just trying things and years of experience, and eventually some things stick, some things don't, and that's the name of the game. What really does work all the time to serve relevant and useful information is starting with number one, making sure that you're indexed. Okay, so I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. If we go look for a site and we go pull up any interior designer that is ranking here, we can take this domain, and by typing site colon and the domain name, we will find only the results from this website. So like this, we understand if this website and how many sites are actually indexed in Google. So this is the first thing that you can do. If you click on tools, you can see here about search results. We have 1,120 results. So this website of this interior designer has 1,120 pages on Google present, right? And you can check this. You can check your site, see how many pages are actually on Google. A better way to do this is by using the Search Console, which I'll dive into later in the video. Is my site on Google? This is the first check. The second check, once we know it's on Google, is making sure that we show up, preferably not on page 297, but like on top within the first page, or yeah, you just want to be on the first page, preferably all the way on top of the first page. So how do we do that? And it's not incredibly complex or complicated. There's three things that are tied into this that make you show up on top of the first pages. That is content. What are you talking about on your website page? And no, when we go onto interior designer sites, many times we find a lot of beautiful pictures. Unfortunately, Google does not really index your pictures. They do, and you'll find the pictures within the images tab of Google, but they can't really read all the information except for the alt text, which we'll cover another time, but they do not read your images. So you need to ensure, which this company does really well, which is why they're showing up on top within the search results, is they're talking about their luxury interior design services in Miami. So we have very key components here. We have the location, we have the keyword luxury interior designers, right? So if we Google luxury interior designers, I'm sure they're going to probably show up on top. Architectural Digest, here, they're pretty much on top. We have this keyword here, and we have their name. So they make sure that it's not just their name, which many interior designers and architects like to do. They just like to have their name. Very clean, simple, nice design. However, many times you need to make sure that you also include keywords like luxury interior designer in the title or in your text. And here we're talking about decorate, renovate, building a home, all really relevant keywords that people potentially are searching for. It's really important that we have text, and then what you're doing is they have a call to action, a form right there, so that if I'm looking for interior design for services, I can just click on chat and WhatsApp them. and see if it's a fit. So that's content. That's the text on your website pages. This is on your website itself. This is within your About Us, your design, your portfolio, but it's also in your blog, right? And in your blog, you target specific keywords. Hopefully they are doing so too, where they talk about their projects, they talk about how they design, how they do things, and hopefully they're also targeting specific keywords in their blog, which we're going to also cover in a later point of this video. Okay, so all of this text is findable, searchable by Google and the algorithm and all these little robots by Google crawling the internet. And they will take these keywords like this condo design and potentially index them so that when people are looking for condo design, they find maybe this blog post. The second thing about SEO is keywords, which we already covered in content. But this is very specifically keywords. And one mistake that so many designers and architects, especially when they're speaking to marketing agencies, talking about getting their website top of Google, they're talking about getting their website top of Google with one keyword. This in my search bar right now is one keyword, right? It's luxury interior designers. And this is being searched by quite a few people. We can check with specific expensive tools how many people are really looking for this. But in this case right now, it doesn't really even matter. What matters is that people are not just searching for luxury interior designers. Sometimes there's a few people searching for interior designer Miami, or in your city, in your area, architect in your city, in your area, or architect near me, things like that. But many times people are just looking for other topics. To prove a point here, I'd like to explain what I mean. Using one of these expensive tools, I'd like to dive into the broader potential. We have a tool which shows us all this Google search keyword data and everything else, right? If we look up the search term interior design, there is a total of 110,000 different terms that are related matching interior design that people are searching for actively. This changes every day. And just to give you perspective on what this means, these are long-term searches. I'm sure maybe you've caught yourself typing into Google how to fix my microwave, something like that, right? Maybe even a sentence. So people type in these very long sentences into Google trying to find something very specific. And for interior design, there's obviously over 110,000 different variations of keywords that people are searching for. They're searching for interior design jobs, they're searching for AI interior design, and hundreds of thousands of different things. But for example, if we drill down and we just look into things that may fit your client avatar or what you do specifically, we can go and filter down. And for example, we can go say, okay, let's type in sustainable. And now we have sustainable interior design. 400 people searching for sustainable interior design each and every month, right? And then we have people searching for sustainable interior design materials. So if this is your thing and you're an interior designer and you focus on sustainable topics, things like that, then these might be your keywords. And the same we can do we can go type in modern or classic, whatever your heart desires. And then we see that 4,000 different variations of modern interior design, modern rustique interior design, modern Mediterranean interior design. And these are hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of people that are searching for this very specific term. And when we go take one of these terms, modern Mediterranean interior design, and we just go pop it into Google, then we can take a look at what people are actually trying to find. There's Pinterest. People are looking for inspiration, looking for ideas, but people are also sometimes they're looking for longer explanations. So we see what these big magazines, which you're probably familiar with, Homes and Gardens or Architectural Digest, are doing. They're covering these topics in depth, right? So they're writing a dedicated blog post for Mediterranean interior design, which covers this keyword specifically. And they're covering this topic with images, explaining what this style is, what it does, answering questions for anyone reading this article. And at the same time, they're pestering you with a bunch of ads, which we don't want to see, but hey, they want to make money to pay their writers, which if they still have writers or if it's just AI today's, that take the time to curate these articles. So here comes the opportunity, and I'll explain in a sec. But this, for context, are keywords, right? The third topic, which we're going to cover, which helps you rank number 1 on Google, is a thing called backlinks. Forget about the term for a second. It's actually really simple. It's one website linking to yours. This article here, this is a designer that we opened up earlier, and we see that this link here is linking out to their website. So here we have Decor Interiors. Remember, they were positioned at the top of the website when we Googled interior designer Miami. The reason why they're at the top is because of these links, right? They have many links which other agencies acquired for them. They reached out to these papers and they got many of these websites to link back to them, which gives them authority within the network of Google. Google understands, hey, if many link back to yours, then your website must be more important. So we need to show it higher at the top. And I hear what you're saying. It's a gameable system, right? There's money involved. And since every website on the internet is trying to run a business, they're trying to make money, at least most of them. They're making money either by serving you ads like these here, or they're making money by selling you services like House, or like you guys, right? Selling a service-based business. You want to acquire clients. So you want to rank on Google so that more clients find you, so that you can sell or help more people sell more of your services, right? That's the name of the game. So these links can be a tricky, extensive topic. There's people talking about it in length, but to keep it short, you need more of those links to give you more power and authority to show up on Google. That's all the secret sauce you need. So from here, this is really the main part, and I will dive into more specific videos where I share specifically how you can get more links, how you can get more of the keywords, how you can target those, and how you can make your website show at the top of Google. But for this video, we're going to end it here. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please give it a like or follow and comment below what topic you want me to cover next. And then I'll go make an in-depth video of how you can make that happen specifically.